What are your thoughts about the impressive exhibit of the new capabilities of OpenAI this week? Do you see an application in video games? Would you welcome it? On my side, as I'm not a fan of the emptiness of most open worlds, if it can help NPCs to give life to that emptiness while still keeping a strong focus on the common thread of a story, well, why not? But if AI only helps developers shorten the NPC's development, allowing them, for example, to tackle any subject, I don't see the point. I think video games are about game design and focus around it. The infinite possibilities of AI will never change that. So you're a big, I'm not going to say AI fan, but you certainly do follow the progress of all of these tools with much interest, Oliver. So what did you make of the new capabilities of OpenAI as revealed this week? Because the demos were really, really impressive.
Yeah.
And is there any kind of application to the gaming space that you find particularly compelling?
Well, for GPT-4o, which is the O stands for Omni,
okay.
I think that there are some potentially interesting applications because it is a multimodal model. It can both take in and output text, imagery, and audio, and it does so natively. So when you're looking at audio, for instance, when you talk about maybe having a conversation with an NPC in a game, you are actually basically talking to it. It understands your audio and it's outputting audio instead of it operating through a speech to text, then the text portion of the LLM, then the text to speech, which is what we've seen from prior game demos. So it could allow for much more expressive game output, much lower latency game output, and a much greater understanding of that output. So if you're speaking to it in a harried tone, or if you're speaking to it with emotion in your voice, it should pick up on that, and it should actually be able to respond to you in a more convincing way. And it also should be able to converse with you in a way that involves interruptions. So it's not just the turn-taking style, where I speak and then it speaks, and then I speak and then it speaks. I can actually interrupt it, and it can take that in, and it can respond in real time. So there are a lot of really compelling applications of this with respect to speaking to characters. I mean, it's a lot more compelling than what we've seen from prior demos, like the, the Ghost Protocol demo, or some alpha protocol. I can't remember what it was, but it was the demo that I think John Son was demoed a little bit earlier, a couple months ago.
Yeah, I saw it as well.
Yeah.
The NVIDIA stuff, yeah.
So
it was a bit stilted.
Yeah. So this would be a maybe a more natural way of doing that. But I still think you probably want better audio synthesis because the final actual output in terms of the audio is still a little bit computery. It's still not perfect. It's actually a little bit lower quality than some of the other text-to-speech I've seen, although it's more expressive and more natural in some other respects. And it doesn't fit in super neatly into games with set dialogue options and static tasks. So your traditional RPG that is really just presenting the player with certain, pick one, pick two, pick three in terms of the dialogue, and then tasks that are really built around quests that are very carefully handcrafted and things like this. I see it less applicable in that space. So I think it could open up new and interesting game ideas that people have not developed and ideated yet. But in terms of fitting it into conventional game applications, it's not as neat of a fit in my view.
It would need to be cloud-based as well, presumably.
There'd need to be some interaction with the cloud just to have that processing for sure.